Awesome. I finally have the energy to do a video. As you can see, I'm very excited. I just watched Kiss Kiss Bang Bang recently, and this movie was very interesting. Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer are very solid in it. I love their performances, and this is a really good just murder mystery type of crime thriller story. So Robert Downey Jr. basically is this criminal who steals shit, and then he ends up in an audition while running away from the cops, and then in order to try to further his potential acting career, he gets in touch with Val Kilmer to do some research for get experience with that type of role, or whatever. And he ends up getting entangled in a lot of crazy shit that happens. This movie is just a very solid dark comedy. You don't really see dark comedies like this anymore, where it's just as funny as it is kind of serious and oh shit, there are moments where when somebody gets killed or when something big happens, you still feel it very you still feel how big it is, kind of thing, which I appreciate. Dark comedies should always, I love when you feel the severity of those serious things despite a movie having a lot of laughs. That's hard to do. It's hard to make something very light and funny, and then all of a sudden, like a light switch, just flip that the other way around and do a full 180. This movie was just really refreshing. I believe it's the same guy that directed The Nice Guys too, which I do want to see that as well. And this was Robert Downey Jr.'s first movie. After first movie, his comeback film, essentially, right after his drug issues and his issues with addiction and all that stuff. So it's interesting to see how that was his first movie back when he was sober, and then you can tell that was the his performance in this movie is definitely the catalyst. I read online that it's the main reason why Jon Favreau wanted to cast him as Tony Stark. And then the rest is history. So it's interesting that this movie was him he put himself back on the map and absolutely kills it. Robert Downey Jr. is fantastic in this film, and Val Kilmer is too. I miss him. Rest in peace, Val. I fucking loved him in that movie as well. Michelle Monaghan is great as well. They're all the movie is just so good at the comedy. That's what I really loved about this. Is it's it's a classic, the fast-paced kind of dialogue with that with just that vibe. It knows that director really knows how to make things funny. There's a whole approach to making things the classic being loud and fast, or doing certain things like that. And the quickness of that, a lot of that is in this movie as far as how well the comedy is. And I think that was what I really took away from it more than anything, and what I loved about it so much. The story itself was really good too. I have to rewatch it again, honestly, because it's one of those once you find out that it's constantly kind of one of those movies where there's a twist that reveals something, and then another twist that reveals something, and there's these constant whip arounds where you're just not sure what the hell is going on because of how much is the mystery thriller aspect of it is really just amped up in that way. So the final twist, the final ending of explaining why they were doing what they were doing. I thought it was really I thought it was very sudden, and this is why I almost have to reread it or rewatch it and really piece together a lot of it, because even though it's one of those movies where the characters are explaining what's going on, almost like watching Lost, there's a constant everyone talking about literally what is happening in the story, and even despite that, it was a lot. The one thing I will say that the one thing about these movies in general that can be kind of tricky to watch is when you're going all over the place, when your story has constant twists and constant changes in that way. It's hard to keep track of things. This is what I noticed with not only murder mystery stories, but just any whodunit or what's the big reveal, what's the bunny rabbit being pulled out of the hat kind of thing. When you have so many of those moments in a film, it's like whiplash or something. It throws your mind into so many different directions that by the end of it, you are not only kind of numb to it, but you don't. All of a sudden, the explanations, all the exposition itself is kind of, you get a little numb to it, and then you don't. Like, even my buddy and I were both just kind of like, wait, like what? Like what was the like what's going on? You have to kind of like. We were very high when we watched it too, so that didn't help. But it's one of those. And if you've seen these types of movies, if you've seen your handful of them, like you'll know exactly what I mean. It's not that I didn't get it; I got what happened in the end, but it's like not 100% there. So it's worth a few rewatches, or it's worth like just revisiting. But yeah, I think I heard about this flick for a while, and it was great to finally watch it. Robert Downey Jr. is he's just so good at being a lead actor. He's like one of the best. And Val Kilmer is good at playing lead roles too, but he was so good in the supporting character. And their chemistry was just very lovely. Like, they are one of those unlikely, like, oh, they did a movie, and they're really good in it together. That's such a lovely feeling. The randomness of this movie felt very random. And like I think we watched it because it's like takes place kind of around Christmas. There was nothing Christmassy about it though. Like, we watched it, it was just a good movie, but it definitely it's one of those like you will not even know that it takes place around Christmas time because there's not much of that. Anyway, yeah, I guess that's it. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. It's a very, very solid movie, and I highly recommend it. I think it was just fun. This is like this movie reminded me of why movies are fun and why they should be just like enjoyed. So check it out.